Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram welcoming you to your Thursday's edition of the Cricket Happening Show. And on this Cricket Happening Show, I will have to start off with this particular news that today, in the qualifying rounds of the World Cup 2016, there was one team which was pushed out of the competition, and it was Scotland. So Scotland actually met their fate at the hands of Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe have beating Scotland today, and in the other match we had Afghanistan having an easy win over Hong Kong. And there were also warm-up matches which were played today. In the warm-up match, the host India beat West Indies, and New Zealand beat Sri Lanka. And tomorrow's match that is coming up are some very one of the matches going to be of great significance, especially considering that Oman has been doing so well. Oman is going to take on Netherlands, and what a match that is going to be. And then we have Bangladesh taking on Ireland, who have already been, yesterday they were humiliated. I mean, they were outscored by Oman, and now Bangladesh will take on Ireland. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I will start off with the first match, which is the fifth match which was played at the Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium. We saw the ballers. There was really spin available today, in the sense the pitch definitely gave an opportunity to the spinners. Zimbabwe were the ones who actually batted first, and their start was not good today. In fact, it all started off with a bizarre run out where the Hamilton Masakadza, the Zimbabwean captain, and the opener, the other aggressive opener who was the man of the match in the previous match, Busi Sibanda, actually got into a real tangle here as they were running between the wickets. Both were actually caught at one end, and they actually lost both their bats and struck each other. And in the meanwhile, it was the Scottish players, Querzer and Cross, taking advantage of it, and Masakadza was on his way back. So the bizarre run out for 12 of 10 balls with 3 fours. Sibanda followed him later, out for 4 to the bowling of Evans. I thought the Scottish bowling was very good at that stage. Mutumbami briefly prospered by making 19 of 17 balls with 2 fours and 1 6, and then it was left to Sean Williams to play a good hand there. In fact, Sean Williams went on to make 53 of 36 deliveries with 6 fours. Sikandar Raza was cheaply dismissed for 9. He was bowled by Evans. Malcolm Waller made 13 of as many balls with 1 4. And again, as in the previous match, we saw Chigumbra coming in and giving it some real impetus. 20 of 17 deliveries, 1 4 and 1 6 towards the final stages of the innings. Wellington Masakadza was not on 4, but Sean Williams' innings was something which was a very good innings. In fact, he was not the one to really stay there, but he was keeping the scoreboard moving and at the same time playing some neat strokes. So Zimbabwe 147 for 7 of their 20 overs, and I thought the Scottish bowlers had done a decent job here. Lee Scott 4 overs, none for 36, he was costly. Davy 4 overs, none for 21, was good. Evans 4 overs, 2 for 30, and then the spinners Watt 4 overs, 2 for 21, and Safian Sharif 4 overs, no more than 31 runs and 2 wickets. Now that was Zimbabwe. Now it was the turn for Scotland to bat, and Scotland definitely didn't have it their way. They were rocked early on by the Zimbabwean pace bowlers. Today the Zimbabwean pace bowlers. Not only that, in fact, Hamilton Masakadza decided that he would be. He gave the ball to Wellington Masakadza, the right arm off spinner, to start the attack. So that was a good move on the part of Hamilton Masakadza, and what a move it turned out to be. In fact, the other day we saw Munshi played very aggressively, as you would remember, but today Munshi once again trying to show his aggression. After making 8 of 6 balls with 2 fours, tried to come down the wicket to Wellington Masakadza, who fighted the delivery, and Mutumbami behind the stumps collected it as Munshi missed it, and Munshi was out for 8 of 6 balls with 2 fours. After that, we saw Chatara, who was bowling so economically. He actually picked up the wicket of Kyle Quetzal for 3, and then Chatara also picked up cross wicket for naught. And then we saw Matt Machan being sent to the pavilion by Wellington Massachusetts for 9. That made it. When Matt Machan went, and Quetzal was 20 for 4, and when Leask was sent back to the pavilion by Sean Williams, left arm spin, they were really struggling. They were 42 for 5 at the stage. So Zimbabwe absolutely getting a stranglehold on this Scottish innings, and one saw that they were definitely not sure about their feet movement when they were playing the spinners. And Wellington Massachusetts scalped his career best figures of 4 wickets for 28 runs and took the man of the match award. Other than as far as the Scottish innings was concerned, Barrington contributed 36 of 39 deliveries with 1-4 and 1-6. Momsen played his part by 31 of 27 balls, but again, it was always going to be difficult. Some big blows were struck by Josh Davey, trying to see to it whether he can. But it was a close match in the end, one could say, with Josh Davey making 24 of 13 deliveries with 1-4 and 2 sixes. Safyan Sharif was out for 1. Watt was not out on 9. 136 all. In fact, Scotland definitely tried to make a pitch of it, but it was Zimbabwean bowling which really didn't allow Scotland to really wriggle out of this crisis, because half the team were out for 42, and after that it definitely required a lot of application and dedication, but that was definitely missing from the Scottish innings, as the Scots were all out for 136, and by doing that Zimbabwe actually pushed Scotland out of the competition. So Scotland have no chances of now qualifying. They are out of this T20 in the sense they might have some matches to play, but probably only for consolation's sake. Scotland does not have a chance now to make it to the World Cup proper. So, but very sorry for Scotland. But as I said, Scotland, I told on my preview, as you would remember, dear fans and subscribers, the problem for Scotland, their batting was good, but their bowling is something that does not seem to be very strong, according to me. What a career best analysis for T20 career best analysis for Wellington Massachusetts, the right-arm off spinner. 4 overs, no maiden, 4 for 28. Chatara 3 overs, 2 for 24. Ripano 2 for 20 of his 3.4 overs. Panyangra bowled 1 for 20. Williams 1 for 22, and Sugandha Raja 2 overs for 19. So Wellington Massachusetts are taking the man of the match, and that says that Zimbabwe will be qualifying for the knockouts here. So the fifth match, that was the situation as far as the fifth match was concerned in the qualifying rounds of the World Cup, T20 World Cup in India. And now let's go on to the next match, which was the sixth match, which was in the first round in the Group B, which was again played in Nagpur, the Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium. Hong Kong and Afghanistan were the ones who were clashing. And Hong Kong, well, they started off and they definitely had their struggles. I mean, Afghanistan bowling was absolutely on the mark. It was not easy. Not only, I mean, I would say that the Hong Kong openers definitely had it all for themselves when the Afghanistan bowling was operating with Hamid Hassan and Dawlat Zadran. And it was good to see that today, but again today they decided to not to have Shapur Zadran. So Shapur Zadran was missing, and they decided to go with Hamid Hassan and Dawlat Zadran. And I thought the Hong Kong batting was pretty sure, in the sense when the pace bowlers were bowling, we saw that Atkinson, the opener from Hong Kong, and Ryan Campbell, the former Aussie player. Ryan Campbell, as you know, is the oldest man to make a debut in T20, as you would know. Ryan Campbell, today we saw that they really handled both Hamid Hassan and Dawlat Zadran very well, with Atkinson stroking 16 of 20 balls with 2 fours, but Ryan Campbell was really there only to connect bat to ball. He was not the one to really stay there. Ryan Campbell showed his other side of it today, as he decided to get aggressive against the Afghanistan pace bowlers, and he cracked 5 fours in a knock of 27 of 24 balls. And during that phase, we saw that the Hong Kong openers were off to a very good start, because in the sixth over they had 40 runs on the board. And then once the Ahmed Hassan and Dawlat Zadran were out of the attack after bowling their first spell, we saw the introduction of the spin. So once the spin was introduced, we definitely saw that the Hong Kong batsmen are not sure of themselves. They were not really having the technique to deal with the spinners, and we saw that the Afghanistan spinners definitely wove a web around them, and they started bottling them, and then it was pretty difficult for Hong Kong to get runs. So it all started with Rashid Khan, the right arm leg spinner from Afghanistan, clean bowling. In fact, it all started with Mohammad Nabi, the off spinner. Mohammad Nabi actually getting the aggressive Ryan Campbell, clean bowl for 27 of 24 balls, 5 fours. After that, there Babar Hayat once again failing. This is the second consecutive time that Babar Hayat, the mainstay of the Hong Kong innings, I would say, has really failed. And he was also a victim of Mohammad Nabi. So Mohammad Nabi was the one who picked up both the wickets, and then we saw the other spinner coming up, Gulbuddin Naib coming up and picking up Chapman's wicket, which was an important wicket for 8 of 11 balls. And then it was left to, after the openers did the job, I thought the Hong Kong batsmen were really struggling, and then with the wickets falling, it was left to Anshuman Rath to really not only see to it that Hong Kong played the full quota of 20 overs, and he had to really be sedate itself there as he slowly proceeded on to an unbeaten 28 of 31 balls with 1 4. And as I said, the Afghanistan spin bowling was absolutely on the mark, and Mohammad Nabi picked up his best analysis in T20 matches, 4 wickets for 20 runs. Nizakat Khan was out to Mohammad Nabi for 8, KD Shah for 11, Tanveer Afzal, the captain of Hong Kong, was not out on 6, as Hong Kong definitely didn't have a good score on the board considering the circumstances, and Hong Kong had to be content with 116 for 6 of their 20 overs. So very good bowling effort from the Afghanistan bowlers. Hamid Hassan 4 overs, none for 17. Zadran bowled 4 overs, none for 24. Samila Shinwari 2 overs, none for 10. Mohammad Nabi, as I said, is the best bowling figures in T20 cricket, 4 for 20. Rashid Khan, the leggy, 4 overs, 1 for 23, was also impressive. Gulbuddin Naib bowled 2 overs, no more than 1 for 13. Now it was the turn for Afghanistan to chase the total, and well, what a start. I mean, this bloke Mohammad Shahzad, who has actually modelled himself on none other than the Indian skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and he's such an aggressive bloke. I told you in the preview that this bloke is the real key for Afghanistan, because he can give you electric starts, and that's what he precisely did today in the company of Noor Ali Zadran. In fact, Afghanistan chasing, they put on 70 for the first wicket. The openers made sure that Afghanistan will win this match. As Mohammad Shahzad, let me talk about Mohammad Shahzad. Mohammad Shahzad is such a, he's a very stockily built lad. He has lots of power, but the Mohammad Shahzad wouldn't be a connoisseur's delight for sure. But one thing is pretty sure, that he really likes to hit the ball, and when he hits the ball stays hit. And he's a very unpredictable player, in the sense you sometimes feel like he's really someone who really goes against the cricketing norm, because he will probably play on the leg side and the ball might go on to the offside. Probably he will attempt a stroke on the offside, the ball might go on the leg side. There might be misses, but I think I would rather say that Mohammad Shahzad is one where the slogan, there is a particular English saying which I would say for Mohammad Shahzad, and that would be "Fortune favors the brave." And that he's such a type of player. He really likes to wind up, and I really like this bloke Mohammad Shahzad. He really entertained. If one is seeing his batting, it might not be very graceful, but the bottom line is that he generates a lot of power with his bottom strokes. And he's a very, very active cricketer. And Mohammad Shahzad, one would remember, I definitely, if you go back to my World Cup preview, you would have seen I really said that Afghanistan not selecting Mohammad Shahzad for the 50 overs World Cup was a big blunder. And look, I mean, one knows that he's not the type of cricketer who would stay there, and but yes, he has definitely matured as a batsman, no doubt about it. But look at that knock that he played today. As I said, you can't be sure when Mohammad Shahzad is playing. He can hit anywhere. I mean, the bowler wouldn't even know, because even if you pitch the ball on the off stump, he can actually tonk you down the leg side. And Mohammad Shahzad, Nur Ali Zadran was also very attractive in his stroke play, and both actually nurtured the opening stand beautifully to 70 runs. And then finally, Mohammad Shahzad was a victim as Campbell took his wicket after providing enough entertainment. 41 of 40 deliveries, 4 fours and 2 sixes. Nur Ali Zadran contributing a very good 35, 37 balls to 2 fours. And then we saw Mohammad Nabi being bowled by Campbell for 17 of 11 balls to 2 fours. And then finally, it was just a mere formality. Shafiqullah was out for 3. And then Najmullah Zadran makes sure that Afghanistan will win in the 18th over. He was not out on 17 of just 9 balls with 3 good, well hit fours. Gulbuddin Naik was not out on 4. The match was over. Afghanistan, the victors by 6 wickets and taking 2 points. So let's have a look at the Mohammad Nabi, for his career best figures in T20 cricket, was named man of the match, and rightly so. Let's have a look at the Hong Kong bowlers. Tanveer Afzal, the pace bowler from the Hong Kong captain, 3 overs went for 20. Hasib Ahmed, once again, he has not hit his straps. Hasib Ahmed, 2 overs cost him 20. Nadeem Ahmed, 4 overs, 1 for 24, bowled well. Anshuman Ahmed bowled 1 over for 9 runs. Aizaz Khan, 4 overs, none for 18, was impressive. Campbell took wickets, 4 overs, 2 for 28. So that is as far as this match is concerned. So it was, I wouldn't say Afghanistan didn't have to work a lot with Mohammad Shahzad and Nur Ali Zadran providing Mohammad Ali Zadran providing the fireworks, and Nur Ali Zadran complimenting him well, and then finally Afghanistan making sure that they would easily get this target. Well, so that is as far as those 2 matches are concerned. Now, as far as the warm-up matches are concerned, I'm just going to skim through it here. Today we had the warm-up match which happened between India versus West Indies, and it was India who were the victors. India made 185 for 6 batting first, with Rohit Sharma smashing the West Indian bowling all across the park with what an innings that was. In fact, he missed his century, but he was there till the end, unbeaten on 98 of just 57 deliveries, 9 fours and 7 sixes. He really, I thought he was absolutely lightning and thunder there, Rohit Sharma, the opener. Dhawan making 21 of 17 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Rahane making 7 of 10 balls. Yuvraj Singh 31 of 20, cameo there, 3 fours and 1 6. Jadeja making 10 of 7 balls with 2 fours. Pavanegi playing out for 8. Pandya was out for naught, and Raina was not out on 1, and India 185 for 6 of their 20 overs. Bowling, well, Andre Russell 4 overs, none for 35. Jerome Taylor 4 overs, 2 for 26, bowled well. 1 for 30 for Brathwaite. Ben bowled 4 overs, 2 for 30. None for 27 for Ashley Nurse, the spinner, and Darren Samuel bowled 2 overs, 1 for 29. Well, West Indies definitely struggled, chasing 185. They definitely. I would. The problem for West Indies was that nobody was able to go on and actually put up a sort of a big partnership, or probably put up a substantial score, because the highest score was made by Chris Gale, who made 20 of 11 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Johnson Charles making 18 of 13 balls with 2 fours. 17 from Marlon Samuels with 16 balls with 2 fours. 13 from Bravo of 18 balls with 2 fours. Andre Russell 19 of 13 balls. Other than that, Brathwaite was out for 6, Sammy for 5, Nurse for 8, Holt not out on 13. 140 all out in India, winning the match by 45 runs in this warm-up match. And the good thing for India was that Mohammad Shami was back, and it was very good to see that Mohammad Shami picked up 2 wickets for 30 runs of his 4 overs. He got 1 in the top when he dismissed the opener Johnson Charles. So that's a refreshing thing for India, considering that Mohammad Shami is a very vital person, and Mohammad Shami is coming. This was his first match after probably the World Cup. Mohammad Shami is bowling for the first time in an international game. Ashwin none for 21, 1 for 12 Harbhajan Singh, 1 for 6 for Bumrah, Negi 2 for 15, Jadeja 2 for 26 and Pandya 2 for 25. So that is as far as this particular warm-up match was concerned. The other warm-up match which was played, I'm going to talk about that particular match. Before I talk about that match, I would have to say that tomorrow there are two matches coming up. I'll be talking about that. One is a very important match and a very interesting match because Oman the other day shocked Ireland, and Oman tomorrow taking Netherlands. I'm sure Netherlands would have definitely looked into all the videos of the Omani players and see what they can do best. But I think Netherlands will have to be really wary because Oman looks to be in the first match itself they have got a big scalp. But not only that, they are looking after looking at their team, it looks that this team has packed a lot of talent in them, and Oman has also made it very clear that there are more surprises in store. So it will be interesting to see how this match pans out tomorrow between Netherlands and Oman, which is going to be played. What a match. I think that will be a real feature. One will be very interested to see as to how this match goes. As far as Bangladesh versus Ireland is concerned now, Ireland are the ones who are under tremendous pressure because they have lost they were shocked by Oman, and now they are under increasing pressure, and tomorrow they are taking on a full side like Bangladesh, and that is not going to be easy. Let me tell you, Bangladesh are a very efficient bunch of cricketers, and I think Ireland have to really play out of their skins tomorrow with Bangladesh if they are to win, and that should also be a very interesting match which is coming up. And I think unfortunately the pressure is going to be on Bangladesh, and especially they are also coming under a bit of fire here, Bangladesh, unfortunately, and with the ICC actually going to do a scrutiny on Taskin Ahmed, who has been bowling so superbly for Bangladesh. One hopes that his morale has not been hit, because the ICC has said that they feel that they want to determine whether the bowling action is correct from Taskin and also the left-arm spinner Arafat Sunny, and that actually angered the Bangladeshi coach Chandika Hatrasinghe, and one hopes that Taskin bowls well, because Taskin has been bowling well in the last two matches. He bowled well in the Asia Cup too, so one is really wanting to see that Taskin goes well. And as I said, there was one more match which was played. So those two matches coming up tomorrow, I think there are going to be some very good matches, especially Oman Netherlands is the one which will take the cake, no doubt about it. And New Zealand versus Sri Lanka, the warm-up match that happened. In fact, New Zealand batted first, and we saw some real biffing going on from the bat of Colin Munro. What a knock from Colin Munro. He entertained the Wankhede Stadium crowd here in Mumbai by really smashing 67 of the Lankan bowlers. As you would remember, Munro got the fastest 50 of 14 balls also against Sri Lanka when Sri Lanka toured New Zealand recently, and today he clattered the Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. And what a knock. Look at that knock. Can you believe it? No single boundary being hit. That's the uniqueness of Colin Munro, who really packs a punch when he hits it. And Colin Munro smashed 67 of just 34 deliveries with no boundaries, but 7 sixes clattered in that. The spinners were really sent soaring over the park. And as far as other contributors were concerned, Corey Anderson retired not out on 60 of 29 balls, 4 fours and 5 sixes. He was looking in smashing form. Elliott contributing an unbeaten 32 of 21 balls, 4 fours and 1 6. Guptill making 41 of 25 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. Williamson making 10. And 226 was a very good score which was raised by New Zealand in this warm-up match. And finally, definitely turned out to be a winning score against this rebuilding Lankans. Lakmal 1 for 50 was costly. In fact, each and every bowler from the Lankan camp really suffered at the blade of the Kiwi batsman. None for 48 for Pereira, none for 35 for Sena Naike, 3 overs for 28 for Dilshan, 2 for 48. Dasan Shanaka was hit for 4 consecutive sixes by Colin Munro. And Sri Lanka chasing that total Well, the openers were dismissed early. Chandimal and Wilson were into the hut at very cheaply, 8 and 0 respectively. And after that, the highest scorer was Layu Thiramani, 41 of 29 balls. Kapagatra contributing 38 of 27 balls at 7 fours. Angel Matthews was there, not out on 25 to no avail, as it was a very big victory for the Kiwis as they won the match by 74 runs. Srivardhana making 15 of 8 balls, and that was it. 152 for 7 was what Sri Lanka ended with, and Sri Lanka losing their first warm-up match against New Zealand in a big manner, and New Zealand would be pretty happy that they really blew Lanka off in this particular match. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I think I've almost waxed eloquent on the day's proceedings, but as I said, tomorrow I'll be back to cover this exciting match which is coming up, because Oman has already signaled their arrival on the world scene, being 29th in the world. They shocked Ireland, and now one is really waiting to watch as to how Oman does against Netherlands tomorrow. And then we also have an interesting tussle coming up, with Ireland being under full pressure now to win this match against Bangladesh tomorrow.